Guys, welcome back to the Kicking It podcast with Kenny and Quinn. On to another great episode today. We're talking about networking.
Yes.
How to network and get the best possible outcomes without looking like a bit of a sleaze bag, I guess, or sleazeball. Because sometimes it can be a bit tricky networking and looking like you're using people, I guess.
Yeah. And there's a good way and a not so good way of doing it as well. And it's hard. It's scary for a lot of people. Like we talk about people being introverts all the time, especially in our industry. It's a scary thing to put yourself out there and talk to strangers and try to build your network.
Yep.
It's not an easy thing to do.
Yeah, definitely. Just talking to people in general these days is scary.
Well, some people are good at it, but better at it than others. It comes naturally.
Yeah.
Gift of the gab. You're very good at it, I think. You really put yourself out there. I always see you with different photographers all the time. You're not afraid to just talk to strangers. I don't know if you realize that's a skill on its own. Most people don't have that.
Yeah, that was a forced skill from when I was young. When I was very young, I used to just read all the time, and I'd just be a bookworm. And I didn't really play sports or anything until I was like 14, 15, that sort of thing. So it was like mum and dad were like, "Get out of your room, go and socialize, like go with the other kids or whatever." So I was like, "Okay, fine." So then it was like one extreme to the other. I was the class clown, and I was always talking to people and that sort of thing. So it was like, you know. But it is a good skill to have, especially being in this industry. This, like most industries, is very people focused, and you need to be good with both working with people and approaching people. So that's why it's always, whenever you go, say, to like your local cafe or whatever, why not treat people with respect and treat people as you want to be treated. Yes. Start a conversation. Like, the other day, our local cafe that's around the corner, there was 30 people deep. Like they were running coffees that I'd never seen them that busy. And that's pretty shit, like to have those high traffic times come through. So treat people as people, I guess, and just be like, "Oh man, I saw you guys were so busy before. Like, how was that?" sort of thing. Like, try to make them laugh, try to make them feel good, that sort of thing. And then they'll be like, "Oh, that guy's really nice. Like, that guy's good. Oh, hey, my cousin's getting married. You do photo, right?"
See, this is what you do. That's very good.
Yeah.
When you're ever in an interaction, you're trying to incite conversation. You're trying to start a chat. A lot of people try to avoid the chat. Like I'm a super introvert.
Yeah.
And there are times where like you just want this to be over. It's like, "Hey mate, hey," and you're just having these pointless conversations. "Hey, how you doing? Good. How are you? Good." But no one's trying to start a conversation.
Yeah, it's like start to have conversations with people. Don't just talk to people or talk at people, that sort of thing. Because once you start to create those connections, that's where the referrals and the networking opportunities come from. You never know who you're going to meet. Like, I was just telling you today, right? I was just there and I got to meet Peter O'Brien and Miranda Otto.
Yes.
And I was just talking to them about their dog. Not Skippy. What was its name? Anyway, this beautiful rescue that they'd adopted. And we were just having a conversation about that. Nothing about work or like, "Oh, hey, I loved you in this, in the Lord of the Rings, as you kill the Witch King," or that sort of thing, or nothing about, any Australian film. But it's just like having a really genuine conversation. And who knows, I might see them again and then it might lead to something else. Or, they could be like, "Oh, you're really nice. What do you do?" "Oh, I'm a photographer, videographer," that sort of thing. "Oh, I know this person who needs this." That's literally how it all starts. Referrals are the best. And even in 2024, you could do paid ads or, promotions, that sort of thing. Still word of mouth and referrals from friends and everything and different clients is way better.
Yeah.
It trumps everything else.
True.
But yeah, another good tip, try not to go into, like, say, networking events with expectations.
Yes.
Because you can see it. You can... Like, I'm not into all this stuff too much, but you can definitely feel someone's energy.
Correct.
And you can feel when they're trying to get something from you, or they're being disingenuous or sort of thing.
That's true. And it's tricky because you need to help in a genuine way, which is not an easy thing to do.
Help with no expectations.
Exactly. And the thing is, people feel that energy. When you help with the expectation of
getting nothing.
Something, of getting something back, people feel that, and it does not feel good. And it's not a great way to network. You literally have to help, and that's it, right? And then you hope that the people around you would also help you. If you like, it's all about providing value for others.
These, even though they're photography workshops or say lighting workshops or that sort of thing, how to work with a model or a couple or that sort of thing, those are networking events, because you don't know if you're about to meet like someone that you can work with in the future, whether someone needs a photographer, or you might meet someone from Sony where they're like, oh yeah, we're actually looking for someone just like you to be one of our new reps, or, you know, artisans, or whatever they call them now, that sort of thing. So you never know where the next opportunity is going to be. But go to these events and try and meet people. Like one of my good friends, John, he's great at it. He just wants to meet as many different creative people as possible. So whenever he goes to these events, he's always like, oh, hey man, how you going? Like you know, talking to them. Sometimes he can be a little bit over the top. Like he's fucking, he should stream, he should do YouTube or whatever. Like he's crazy. But he's always like, hey man, add me. Like let's be friends. Like let's start this conversation, that sort of thing. He's great at it. And he does it with no expectation.
Yep.
He's just doing it to be nice, and he wants to meet as many different photographers, videographers, that sort of thing, models, actors, anything, as he can. Because he knows that, like, you know, this is a small community and we're all in it together. Like, let's just help each other out.
True.
No fighting.
No fighting.
No fighting.
No jealousy.
No jealousy. Definitely no jealousy. So yeah, Sony scene. That was great. Got to see heaps of different people that I've known for a while, and heaps of new creators coming up, both with big and small followings. And, you know, out of that came different relationships, friendships, where we're traveling down to create more content, trying to get more people invited onto the pop. Oh yeah, I know this guy. I can help you out. Oh, awesome. Yeah, cool, man. Invite him on, that sort of thing. So, you know, these networking events are really good for especially small creators who are just starting out, like most of our audience.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it takes those people, because it's a scary thing. Not everyone can do what John does, right? And you've got to... there's the imposter syndrome thing. A lot of people will go to these events and think, man, I'm not as good as any of these people. I shouldn't be here. I'm too scared to talk to that person because I know how many followers they have and their work's probably better than mine. You've really got to leave that at the door. Like, if you want to be good at networking, you've got to, like, the crazy thing is everyone probably feels exactly the same way.
Yeah.
And you've got to realize that and really put yourself out there. Otherwise, there's a lot of people that go to these events and talk to nobody.
Yeah, and then they end up just you get the gift bag with like a shitty sticker or a keychain or whatever. I got socks. I'm very grateful for those socks. I don't know where they are, but they're somewhere. But I made so many new relationships. Right, that was the main takeaway. But some people will go there and they'll get their gear. They might take some photos, stay in their shell.
Exactly.
Not meet anyone. And then they're in the same place they were 6 months ago.
Yep.
Whereas if you make...
It's true, man. Going to the event isn't enough. Because you could have gone to the event, someone else could have gone to the event. You could have gotten to know 10 new people.
Yeah.
And someone could have gone with like just their one mate. They hung out together and left.
Yeah.
It's a whole different experience.
Yeah. Well, so like... I went there and I saw the first people. So I went in. It's on the YouTube video. I went in, signed in, said, "Oh, yep, cool, thanks." Got my tote bag. First person I saw, John Tan, Willis, and Mark Hant. Those Mr. Serious, the most gorgeous man. Too bad he's gone to Germany now. But anyway, handsome man, great photographer. But yeah, so those three people, I've known them for years now, and that was the first point of contact. Spent a little bit of time with them, but I was like, guys, I know you guys so well. I want to go and see who else is here. So I went and saw another mate, Chinny. Then I went and saw other photographers, and I got to meet EC, like all these people that I'd seen online, but I'd never got the opportunity to meet in the flesh sort of thing. Then I got to meet the Sony team from NZ and got to hang out with all the reps and everything like that. Like just trying to make as many friends as possible and just have fun. And it was a great experience. I got real sweaty from playing basketball all the time, but
it looked like you guys were having a great time.
Yeah, it was. I mean, yeah, it was good. And there was big and small creators. It was great. But yeah, I did see some people who probably a little bit more introverted that were just sitting on the stands waiting for the next speaker to come on and not really utilizing the opportunity or not seeing it, I guess, as an opportunity.
Not seeing it as an opportunity.
Yeah, which it is. Most of those events, you never know what can come from them.
True.
Yeah.
Now, let's say you met up with a few new creators and they wanted to work together or collaborate. Again, the genuine part comes in, because if you come across as too desperate, there's people that will take advantage of you.
Yes.
And and I think that happens to a lot of us.
Yeah.
And you want to make connections so badly, you're just going to go in and give, and they realize that, and they're just going to take.
Yeah.
And you've got to know your value and be like, hey guys, of course I'm happy to help you, but at the same time, if this is a collaborative effort, we should all be getting something out of this. And knowing how to navigate that also is not an easy thing to do.
Yes. That probably comes more into like some personal development stuff where you have to know who you are as a person, what you stand for, your morals,
and ethics, trust your work. But
trust your work, trust yourself.
If you've got imposter syndrome and you think your work's not that good enough,
you'll get used a lot.
Exactly.
Yeah. Even still with like, I'm name dropping too much, so I will stop. But I know of bigger creators who have quite a big following, get paid a lot for their travel work, and still suffer with getting used by bigger companies just because they don't know the value of their work.
Yep.
You have got so much value as even a small-time creator. These companies are saving so much money on marketing and everything just by using you. But that's another story.
Companies, but even people. I've had my way, because I don't make time to go to all these events. When I was starting out, my way of growing my network was through DMs.
Yep.
And I just messaged randoms all the time. But I got myself into so many situations where I felt like I was being used, because they would sense that, oh, this guy really wants to just make content for anyone and they almost used the word collaboration and just swapped it for the word free. Like, Kenny's out here making free content for everyone. Yeah. Everyone hit up Kenny, he's going to make some free content for you. And I ended up making all this work that wasn't leading me in the direction that I wanted to. Like, I didn't want to make any gym content, but these people would just be like, I want this, and this, and I'm making all this gym stuff, and I'm like, why am I doing this for all these people? And I felt like I wasn't getting the same amount of value as they were from the collaborative effort. And it's just because I didn't have the confidence to
say, hey, no.
Yeah, no.
Saying no is hard.
Yeah.
It is hard. It's easy to say yes. It's very hard to say no sometimes. We've all been yes men.
Yep.
There's no shame in it. You just got to stop doing it at some point. That's when you'll grow, both as a person and as a creative.
It takes time.
Yeah.
I'm in a better place now, but when I was starting out, I was in those situations all the time. And sometimes it takes going through a ton of those to then value your work and be like, I know what I bring to this collaborative effort. I know what I bring to this event. And then it makes it a lot easier, and you have a lot more confidence when it comes to doing these things. Yeah,
definitely. Well, I've got a small story about, say, opportunity. So I was working at DigiDirect. Obviously, everyone knows that now. And so the week before I was going to hand in my resignation, hopefully none of the bigwigs watch this, because I did lie and say I was going to go to the Gold Coast. But anyway, one of my friends, Siren, walks in, and he was looking for different photo gear. So I think upsold him on a gimbal and a tripod and everything. And he was like, oh, we're actually looking for photographers. And because of that interaction and that rapport we had built in, like, I don't know, 20 minutes, I was like, oh, I'm just about to quit. Like, I'll come work for you guys. And he's like, oh, okay, yeah, cool, do it. Anyway, so I had handed in my resignation, and then like I think it was about a week or two later, Siren and Mikey gave me a call, and they're like, "Oh, we actually are looking for a photographer to do like real estate and weddings." And then that's when I started working for like a wedding company and a real estate company, just because of that small interaction, not expecting anything, just like, you know, being friendly and approachable, that sort of thing. And then the opportunity was there, and I just said yes to the opportunity.
Did you know him before that? Did they know you?
Never met him before. Had no idea what Captured Frames was, anything like that. And then, yeah, he walked through the door and just all smiles and whatever, and needed to spend a certain amount of money before tax time. And then, yeah, it just started from there.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was a great experience. Yeah.
That's cool, man.
It was he called it a God moment, and I was like, yeah, I can.
Oh,
see
really?
that.
He felt it too.
Yeah. Because he was just like, that's so crazy that everything lined up. We needed you, you needed us, that sort of thing. Yeah.
That's true. But if you put yourself in the right environment, you're more likely to have these things.
A lot more. Yeah.
You know, you're working in a camera store.
You're going to meet photographers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Is there sometimes it's like you can put yourself in places where those opportunities are more abundant.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. You're not going to, you won't get those opportunities just working in your room 16 hours a day.
Yeah.
You got to get out there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think you also just need, like, as much as like we talk about like imposter syndrome and everything, but you also should have the better you get at what you do, the more chance you're going to have of getting better opportunities when you do network. Because there are times, especially if you do, like if I look back and I know that there were times when I first started out, I wasn't that good. And when you DM people, sometimes it's just the wrong time or you're just not good enough yet.
Yeah.
And you're trying to reach out to like these guys that are really, really good. And I had no value to them yet.
Oh, shit.
You know what I mean? So like, it's just not whereas if I waited until I got better and then reached out to them, I'm in a better position because I have more to offer.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. Yep.
So one, it's like, realize that the better you get, the better the opportunities are going to be, and the easier it may be to work with some of the people that you wish to work with. And two, I think you also need to share your work. It's very hard to network if people don't know you exist. A lot of people would have seen your work online. When you go to these events, they're like, "Oh, Quinn, I've seen your work."
Yeah.
Or right? Or maybe you do meet someone for the first time and that interaction happens. They then go away. They're going to want to see your work.
Yeah.
And if it's not there, if your account's on private or you're not sharing your work, those opportunities are going to be around and you're not going to be able to make the most of them.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So like we were talking about it the other day, just recently, I only started putting up some of my wedding work on a page, and then all of a sudden all my November is all booked out. And it's just like, as scary as it is, because it is scary. Like people can rip you to shreds on the internet. Like there's no repercussions. And, some people can say some hurtful things, but that's just life, you know? So you got to put your work out there, and you know, we always say it's subjective. People might like it or people might hate it. But as long as I think you like it and the people that you work for or have shot for or whatever like it, then it's fine. Just put it up there.
And as long as you try, if people see you trying.
Yeah, that's the thing too, effort.
Yeah, it makes a difference. They're like, I see this guy out there all the time. I'm always seeing him posting. He's always working.
Yep.
People appreciate that.
Yeah, they appreciate hard work.
Exactly. And by just putting yourself out there, it's as scary as it is, the more you put yourself out there, when those opportunities of meeting people in real life happen, all that work, all that posting that you thought wasn't getting you anywhere, you start to realize it a lot more when you're around other people. And they're like, hey, man, I see your work.
Yeah.
I've seen that. Your work's awesome.
Yeah.
And it's like, holy shit, someone actually is paying attention.
Yeah. And it's a great feeling. Let's talk about a not so great networking experience. One story that comes to my mind, Dan Under and I, back at the start of the year, the Art of Documentary had, and Mark Bone came to Sydney, and they had a little meetup at the Harry Hotel in Surrey. and there was probably 30-ish, 35-ish directors, cinematographers, everyone in the industry at this place at this time. So it was a great networking opportunity. But what ended up happening was Dan and I were sitting across from each other, and all we did was just listen to these, can I say that? Yeah. Douchebags talk themselves up for like half an hour. And I was just like, what the fuck? This is not helpful. You're just telling me everything great that you've done and everything great about yourself, but this is not a good exchange. Like you haven't asked me anything about myself, what I want to do, like how we could help each other out, or what projects you're working on. You've just told me like your, what's it called? Your credits or your resume. You've listed out your resume and your bio. And I'm like, that doesn't help me. Like, I mean, yeah, cool. Great to meet you. And that's great. But yeah, that was not a good networking event. I felt like everyone was just there to try and impress Mark and big note themselves. And like no one was there to collaborate or anything.
So how would you do that? If you were to give someone a tip, because obviously you'd want people to know what you do, but you don't want to spend all this time just talking about yourself. Is that like, should people practice, what do they call it? Not an elevator pitch, but a quick little two sentences.
2 minutes.
Not
minutes
even,
max.
just 2 sentences.
Yeah.
I do photo videography. My name is Quinn.
Yeah.
What do you do?
That's great. Yeah.
And then just
start from there.
Yeah.
That's awesome. But you don't need to talk about yourself for half an hour.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I would say, obviously, once you get into a conversation, it's different. But talking at people for length is not good, and you need to have you need to be self-aware enough to realize that you're doing it, because that's also a skill.
Yes,
you need to be able to be like, oh, okay, no, I'm a dickhead, or I'm an idiot. I'm talking at you. Sorry, here, let me ask you some questions. Tell me about yourself. Like, oh, Kenny, man, I always see you with those hats. Where do you get those hats from?
Yep.
Oh, okay, cool. I thought we were doing a bit there, but that's
cool.
You
wanted me to participate. Yeah. No, but I get it.
Yeah, but that sort of thing.
Yes, and people love a compliment.
Yeah.
People love,
And you're great at that. Excuse me, sorry. One of your best, even though you are extremely introverted, one of your best traits is you always know how to make people feel great. No matter what it is, I always see you, whether it's with clients or prospects or, just anyone in general, you can pick something that they've got on their person or something about them and compliment it in a way that they didn't think about. And all of a sudden, it brings the biggest smile to their face. I see that all the time. And that's one of your biggest strengths as an introvert.
Yep. I guess that's an observation, and you're watching, and it shows that you're paying attention. I'm present in this conversation. You're good at what you were saying in terms of listening. When someone talks, you listen. You remember what they said. It makes them feel special.
Yeah.
It makes them know that you are present.
Remember
in this
people's names as well.
Huge.
That's a huge thing.
Yep. And then when you see them the next time and you say their name,
they're like, holy crap.
Yeah.
The respect level goes up like 10 notches, and you've just elevated yourself, like you're on a different level.
And all you did was listen.
Exactly. And pay attention. Crazy. Guys, we should do that in relationships too.
No, but it's true. And then it also works the other way around. Like if you don't remember someone's name, that guy wasn't listening.
Yeah. They think less of you. They've already switched off. There's no respect there. So it's like, okay, if you can't even remember my name, how are you going to handle this, multi-million-dollar pitch or something? It might happen, but there's always opportunities.
But it just shows that you care. Man, this guy cares.
Yeah. And it goes a long way. And it might be years before anything happens, but people remember that stuff. They remember the little things.
Yep. And those little things build up genuine connection. I think a lot of it is because so many people can be nice to you, but how many of them are being genuine?
Yeah, true.
And you have to realize that the other person may be skeptical. The other person may be like,
walls up.
Yeah, it walls up. And a lot of people are, and rightly so. Maybe they've been burned in the past, but it's like, it's hard for that person to trust you. All these little things build trust. This person actually cares. He listens to me. He's present. So you start, it takes time, but I think it's all those little things build up over a long period of time. You're great at networking. You have this massive network, and you're really good at, when you go out there, you talk to everyone. that's like the first level of networking.
Yeah.
And
very basic.
In terms of building on those connections, it takes a whole different set of skills. I feel like my network's not very big. It's very small. I try to tell myself that I need to make time to go to all these events, but at the same time, the very small network that I have is very, very strong.
Yeah, because of the connections you have.
Yes.
And who knows who and whatever. You're already leaps and bounds like above everyone else because of who you know, who they know, sort of thing.
Yeah, but I think there's wide connect. Like there are people that know everybody, but none of those connections are deep.
Yes.
It's like there's only so much those people are going to do for you. They're like, I know of that guy.
Yeah.
But they're not going to go out of their way to help you. And it's like, cool, you've taken all this time and gone to all these events and all these people know of you, but you haven't taken enough time to build on that relationship. Do you get what I mean?
Yep. Yeah.
Whereas
you haven't taken action.
Yeah. Whereas I lack the width, the going out there and meeting as many people as possible. And I haven't prioritized it. I keep saying I should. But the few people that are around me, I take the time to go deep in that relationship. Whereas those people now, if I need them for anything, if they ever need me for something, they know I'm there.
Yep.
There's trust between the both of us. No matter what, I know they're straight up, they're being honest. They can call me for anything, I can call them for anything. So I have a very small network, but those networks are deep. And I think to be able to get those, it takes time. It takes showing that you care. It's work. Like those relationships you really have to work on. And that's networking too. Yeah, it's making the time to have those deeper relationships. So it's like cast that net wide when you go to those things. But then once you have those people around you, it's like you got to keep working on keeping them. Sometimes it's just checking in. Do you know how much people would like, you can get a deeper relationship by like, you met a guy, never spoken, like think of all the people that you met and then just a message, hey man, just checking in.
Yeah.
Work going all right? They would never get that.
True.
You've just created a deeper connection.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take a lot, but it's those little things that show you care.
It's tough though. So guys with ADD and ADHD will know it's not time blindness, but it's like, so just to give an example, like my friend Nick, great American lawyer guy, I actually haven't seen him since his birthday in February. But to me, I saw him yesterday. Yeah. And then same thing, like there'll be some relationships in that phone where I haven't seen them physically for like 2 years or whatever, but to me, we're still friends. And it's like, and then I'll talk to other people and they're like, yeah, you haven't talked to me for like a year or whatever. Do you hate me or something? I'm like, no, sorry, I just have ADHD. Like I can't, it takes so much for me to like, oh yeah, sorry, let me do this. Oh, it's your birthday. Yeah, sorry, do this to reach out and send. But I guess that's like most people.
It's not easy to do.
Yeah.
I suffer from it too. I'm really good with my small group.
Yeah.
Everyone else I know outside
the bigger
of that,
the group, it's hard.
Struggle, man. And I know people that are really good at it and it always makes me feel bad. I can think of 2 friends in particular. Every couple months, they're always hitting me up.
Got to set reminders.
Yeah, they're like, hey, Kenny, haven't seen you. Let's catch up for a coffee. Yeah. And I'll go. But in my mind, I'm like, it's always them.
Yeah,
and it's never me. Yeah. And I get too caught up and I get too busy. And they would have every right to just stop. Like if they didn't message me, I would not message them. And then that's on me.
Yeah.
And then like that's a lack of communication. And that's how that's how you don't build a network.
Yeah, don't do it like that. Yeah, I remember.
And it takes time. You got to be like, man, I haven't messaged Quinn. I got to just checking in.
Yeah, just check in, see how they're going. I remember, like the last shoot that I did with John Tan, like at the start of the year, we were talking about it, and I was like, when was the last time we actually shot together? And I think it was like a year before. So it's like time goes so quickly. But again, because of we're always in contact with each other. We have Instagram or whatever. And we see everyone's stories, it feels like we're in each other's lives. So
true.
that is also a trap.
Yeah.
So even though you're watching the stories and you're the lurker or whatever, and you're like, oh, what are they doing or whatever, make sure you actually interact. Like that's why I'm always sending love hearts or smiley faces or that sort of thing, or sending messages like, yeah, that's crazy, like, or whatever, you know, just trying to be like, yeah, we're still mates.
Yep.
Because I never want to. Because my friend, she got really upset with me. She was like, it was like, Quinn, you never talk to me anymore. And I'm like, oh, sorry. I thought like nothing's changed. No, you're my biggest hater now. And I'm like, what? I haven't even seen you. I'm so sorry. Yeah, you know. So now it's always like, yeah, let's chat, or
true,
love hearts, that sort of thing.
Yep. And you're right. But even with the comment, think of how far like a genuine comment goes.
Genuine comment,
like a real
like
one.
we always say, not just the fire emojis, but it's like something relating to the video or the photo or that sort of thing. Like, I love the lighting, or I love this transition here. Like, it means so much more.
It really does.
And then you can write back a genuine comment and be like, oh, thanks, man. Yeah, I did this, and this.
Yep.
That's do you know who is great at that? Clyde. Clyde is great at that.
Yeah.
He writes back to every comment, and he is great at just like, man, that guy works. He's a hustler.
Yep.
Anyway.
It's hard to do, but it feels good. When someone does it to you, you're like, wow, that felt great.
Yeah.
And you've got to give that back.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Give it, get as you give as you get. Anyway.
It's all effort. Like you can have a really good network, and you can be really good at networking. It just takes lots of little efforts.
Yeah, you don't even need to be that good of a photographer or a videographer. You can just network your way to the top. It's, I mean, networking. But even being an
introvert, like it's a lot easier for extroverts. They can read the room and be in control, and introverts feel like, oh, that's not for me. That's too hard. That's scary. I'm not. But you can do it if you do it the right way. Like lots of those little things that go on, like that you think go unnoticed, can take you a lot further without having to be the loudest guy in the room.
The loudest person in the room, yeah. That 1% every day, it really adds up. Compound interest. It's crazy.
Yeah, but you can do it online. You can do it with little interactions. I've realized that I'm a one-on-one guy.
Yeah.
If I'm with someone one-on-one, I can talk and I can open up.
Yeah. But you're not a group guy.
Nah. Yeah. I will shut up and not say a word.
Yeah.
And just stare. It's I've noticed it about myself.
Yeah, well, that's good. You've got the self-aware.
Yeah, but it's hard. It's hard. I don't know when to interject. I don't know when to, and I'll just shut up, and it's weird.
Yeah.
Because put me in a room with one person,
and you're fine.
And I'll just, I can just go.
Yeah.
It's weird.
I think it's just, your personality.
True, but again, you don't want to say, I hate being like, oh, I'm that type of guy, so I'm just not going to try.
True. Don't give up.
Because a lot of people fall for that. Oh, I am this. They label themselves.
Yeah.
And then it gives them the out. It gives them an excuse not to be the opposite. Oh, I'm an introvert, so I don't have to.
So I'm not going to try.
But you're missing out on opportunities.
Definitely.
I think you can build habits. You can build these things by working at them.
Yeah, little steps in the direction you want to go every day.
Yeah, you're right. This is, and in terms of what you said, in terms of me picking out little things, I think I created that habit.
Yeah.
And because back in the gym days, I read a lot of books.
Yeah.
Same as you. Read a ton of books. A lot of those self-development books. Read them all. Thought I knew everything. I knew nothing.
7-hour work week.
Yeah, all that stuff.
Tools of Titans.
All that stuff. And when you read a ton of books, you start hearing like the same things over and over again.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, that must be important because they're all talking about it.
Yeah.
Everyone talks about gratitude, be grateful, right? And I took that on board, especially when I was early on, like early 20s. I was like negative guy. And I was like, okay, I need to try be more positive. How do I instill it? And he was like, write your 5 grateful things every morning, 5 things you're grateful for. Even if it's the smallest thing, I'm grateful that the sun's out today. And just do it every day. Just find 5 things. Doesn't matter what they are. Doesn't have to be huge. Just, I'm grateful that I get to go to work today. And it sounds so corny and so stupid because I hate that stuff. I'm not the woo-woo guy. But what I found is that trained your mind to look for the positive in everything.
And the opportunities.
Yeah. So you could be in the most boring environment, but you train your brain to start looking for those things. And I've been accused of like being that guy where like, oh, Kenny, every time I come to like say something bad about my day, you always tell me like, well, look at the bright side. And it's just the default reaction that I have to everything. And I think it's because of all that time I spent back then in my just writing positives. You start, someone tells you don't think about the big red car, you start thinking about the big red car. You can't stop thinking about it.
Yep.
Same thing.
But that's a great energy to have too, because you have filtered out all those negative people. So now your circle and your community is filled with other people who just see opportunity and just see the positives, because that's what it should be like. So again, for me, similar thing, right? So yeah, working in retail, soul crushing. Obviously, you have the 9 to 5, where you have a lot of downtime and you're just in your head, because obviously you don't want to listen to whatever the fuck your co-workers are talking about for the 17th time or whatever. Like the boring shifts come through and you're just like, cool. So you're in your head a lot. The upside to that and the bonus is, holy crap, I have so much time to think about ideas, or so much time to think about where I want to be, that sort of thing. I would never get this opportunity anywhere else. This is a bonus. It's like, oh shit, I woke up today. That's a bonus. You know, I get to go to work. I get to make money. I get to do what I want to do. I'm surrounded by cameras, that sort of thing. Like everything like this is an opportunity. Oh, I wonder who I'm going to meet today. That could change my life. That sort of thing. Like always go in with that sort of mindset, and you will never. Nice.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I don't know what that was.
I don't know either.
But we're back.
But we're back.
I fixed it. I broke it and I fixed it at the same time.
If it ain't broke. No, that's good.
But you're right. Who wouldn't want to be around that guy?
Yeah.
So if you're in a room and you're that positive dude, you're going to stand out.
Everyone gravitates
I want to be
towards
around
you.
that guy. If you're in that same environment, you said, oh man, working retail or whatever, you could easily be the guy that's like, oh man, I have to be in this job again. Oh man, like weather's shit today, isn't it?
I won't say names, but there is a guy like that at
There's heaps of guys like that,
exactly.
right? Or you could have been like, oh man, at the Sony thing, they gave us these shit socks.
Oh,
like you could be the guy that complains about everything.
Yeah.
And you don't realize it, but by complaining about everything, it's bad energy.
Yep.
People don't want to be around that guy.
Yeah, and that's why people start to fall off, and you don't hear from people or get invited to things all the time.
You're really good at brightening up the energy, because I know if we go to an event and say like no one shows up or it's empty, there are people like, oh, how shit's this?
Yeah.
No one's turned up.
Yeah.
How terrible is this setup? Like you'd hate being around that guy, but knowing you, you'd be like, oh man, how cool is this?
But
let's do this.
Yeah, that comes from weddings, because it's like, I think it was the first, I want to go back. I think it was like one of my first ones, and the mother of the bride was like, not very nice. And the bride was having like a terrible day. I don't think the mother of the bride was like very happy with her selection of groom choice or something. She opposed the marriage. There was like a divorce in there as well, and it was all very messy. And it's like your sole job as a photographer or videographer is to get the most and the best out of your client. And for a lot of times that will be brightening up their day, like making them smile in a genuine way, like making them feel good about themselves, not necessarily with the photos. Like for the most part, when you do bride prep especially, or groom prep, like you're in there meeting the bride and groom for like 20 minutes to half an hour before, sort of thing, and you're getting to know them, you're building that rapport, because you're going to be with them for a long time. So you want to make them feel good, and that's where it came from, because this mother of the bride was such a bitch. And she was just bringing down the whole day. So like whenever she would come, I was like in, and I was like directing her away, sort of thing. And I was protecting the bride from her. And I was like making the bride feel good. And like we were dancing on the dance floor, sort of thing, that sort of stuff. Like trying to make people feel good. That's where it came from.
Yep.
And then you just build on it. And it's like, if you're a good wedding photographer or whatever, you'll be doing that a lot.
If you go to any networking event or any event anywhere where there's people, and you have that approach, I'm just going to go there and try and make the people there feel good.
Yeah.
You are going to crush.
Exactly.
You really are.
Yeah. And that's, so going back to John Tan, right? He does that at every place. He brings that energy and he makes people feel good. And like there were other people who were like, I don't know whether it's this thing of when you're young or whatever. To me, in my mind, it's like when you're trying to be mysterious or whatever, and you sit in the corner and you're like, oh yeah, people will think I'm dark and mysterious, and then they'll come and talk to me or whatever. That doesn't happen. People stay away from those people for a reason.
True.
Like you just look like an idiot. Don't be that loner in the corner. It's tough.
It's hard to do.
it's tough to get out of that introverted shell, but just go up and meet people. Like, get out of your comfort zone. Don't go to those events and just sit in the corner. Because people will feel that energy and they'll be like, nah, I'm good. Whereas like they'll see, it's like sunshine versus shade.
Yep.
You go where the sunshine is, you feel better. Oh shit, this is awesome. Like I feel warm, I feel fuzzy, that sort of thing. Love the sun. You go to the shade, oh fuck, I feel cold. I don't want to be here. I want to try and chase that sun. That's a shit analogy, but I'll work on them. But yeah, you want to go to those people who bring light into your life. So
true.
Yeah.
And I think, because when you say that, I'm like, man, that'd be hard. And I know that there'd be times where I would have probably been that guy, but I think if you're self-aware enough and like, okay, I find this really hard, I think a good tip would be to find a buddy to go with who is that guy.
Yeah, definitely.
Who is going to go out and meet other people.
Yeah.
I think would be a good tip. Because like it's easier to be like, just go and talk to people, man. But when you're by yourself and you get there and you're that type of person, it's really, really hard. But if you find a buddy who you know is that kind of guy, that would probably help you.
Yeah, well, like, again, I know 2 people exactly like that who are very, very high caliber influencers or, photographers or whatever. They have a big social media presence. One is very, very extremely introverted, and it takes the other person who is not so much to take them or go to them with these events and get them out of their shell to introduce them to people. So it's a good collaboration. Like, you need a friend like that.
Yep.
Especially in this industry.
I think so. And that's just knowing yourself. Like you can say it as much as you want, but some people go there and then back into their shell.
Yeah.
It's a scary thing.
It's tough. Well, because that's your safe space.
Yeah.
You don't want to get out of your comfort zone. But on the other side of that comfort zone is where opportunity is.
True.
And it's like, once you can get past that, the whole world opens up for you. It's ridiculous.
It's not as scary as you make it in your mind.
Yeah.
And know that most people there are probably feeling a similar way.
Very similar. Yeah.
So it is worth doing.
It's just because we don't want to embarrass ourselves in front of other people. Yeah. That's all it is. But I mean, this might not work for everyone, but one of the tricks that you can do, or the tips, I guess, is you can do awkward jokes and you could be the butt of the joke.
That's just you, bro.
Well, yeah, maybe. I mean, some people, it might not work for some people, but if you are self-deprecating enough, some people like respond to that. Again, you just got to judge your audience. But if you can take the brunt of all the jokes and people, oh, okay, this is taking the pressure off other people maybe, sort of thing, that don't want to be there. And then the energy changes and then you're like, oh, yeah, guys, man, this is awesome. Like, I'm having such the best time. This is so good. Hey, what do you do? Like, blah, blah, that sort of thing. It's just be happy and smile. Because you'll be amazed at the difference that makes. Like, as opposed to a resting bitch face or a scowl. Happy and smiling, it changes your energy, and it changes the way you talk too.
Correct.
You can't talk like this at people. They'll just look at you and be like, "What the fuck?" But man, all of a sudden you have the energy in your obviously make sure the smile touches your eyes. Don't just be like, "Hey, there you go." Yeah. But if you bring that energy, people respond to that.
Yep.
And that type of energy, especially in networking events, gold.
Correct. I think another good point also is, again, it doesn't always have to be about you, and you don't always have to be the person that benefits. And I've seen people build great networks, like really good networks, because they're the guys that connect other people together.
Yep.
That takes you a really long way. Knowing that you have, and the thing is, think of your network. And if you meet someone and you realize that they have a problem, even though you can't help them, by knowing someone else who can help them, hey man, I know someone that can help you with that, I'm going to connect you to, and then bounce, leave.
Yep.
Just by doing that over and over and over again, you're going to be known as that guy. Like, that person helped me for no reason.
Yep.
And did not have to do that.
Well, yeah, it's like...
It's a genuine thing to do. Because people notice when it's genuine and when it's not.
Yeah.
And if you do that and just help for no reason other than just wanting to make that person solve a problem, you're going to be in a good place.
Definitely. It's like we were talking a couple of weeks ago. Say someone comes to me and they want to do a car shoot. I hate cars and don't really like shooting cars, but I know heaps of people who do. So I'm going to refer them.
Exactly.
I'm not going to get any money for it, I mean, I don't want any money for it or whatever. So I'm not going to try and take a cut. But hopefully I just pass the job on, and then they remember. Like it's like about helping everyone, right? It's the same thing. So then, you give away jobs, and then it might come back to you, it might not, but at least you've helped out another creative pay their rent for like a week or a month or that sort of thing. So it's always a net positive in my mind.
Yep, true. It's very true. Like my finance lady, like I talked to Rima last week. I needed a painter, and she's like, "I know a painter."
Yeah,
I was so appreciative of that. She didn't have to do that at all. Straight away, just got on her phone, sent me the details of a painter that she knows.
Yeah,
and I was like, "Damn." Like, she just won some points, some connection points. Do you know what I mean? I'm just like, oh wow, like I would not have even known where to start.
I know we haven't said this quote yet, but it's like it's not what you know, it's who you know, and it's exactly that in any line of work. If you know the right people, if you have the right connections, if you have the right community around you, you can go very, very far.
Yep, you hate to say it, but it's true.
Yeah,
a lot of the times it is true.
Yeah.
And there are times, man, especially because there's so many of us, man. There are so many photographers, so many videographers, even in Sydney, and a lot of them are really, 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 really good. So if someone was to decide between you and the next guy, like, you know that you are not the best.
Yeah.
And when someone hits you up, that means that there are better people out there, just as much as like there are worse people out there. And a lot of the times they're going to pick you because of who you are.
Yep.
And who you know.
Yeah.
They trust that this is the
other
other
people's
thing.
Opinions.
Yeah. But the thing, if I don't know you and I'm thinking of working with you, the big thing's trust. I don't know this guy, I don't trust him. But I know Jenny and I trust Jenny's opinion, and if Jenny says that Quinn's good, I'm going with what Jenny says.
That's literally all it is.
And there's trust there. Like I trust.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I don't trust you, but I trust these people.
Yeah.
And if they're recommending you, I trust their opinion.
Yeah.
And you took the time to build those connections.
Yep.
And that's what got you this job.
Can I just say, for those situations, there is double the amount of pressure. So don't fuck it up, whatever it is, because
when you've been recommended.
Yeah, when you've been recommended by either other photographers or couples or that sort of thing, don't fuck up, because then you're not only ruining the relationship just there, but obviously with them too, and you're destroying. Yeah, like you'll never get referred again. But
that's a very good point. I've experienced that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't like the pressure is on when you get that referral from someone. Hey, someone referred me to you. Can you do this job? As if you can do that job, go above and beyond. It will lead to more work, but you're also setting a great representation of the friends or the photographer or videographer who recommended you, and to this new either client or whoever it is.
That's so true.
So you're winning twice.
I've had that.
Yeah.
I've
But on the opposite end, you lose twice. Or,
you lose big.
Yeah.
I can, just you saying that, I'm thinking, and there have been times someone has recommended someone to me.
Yep.
And it has been a nightmare.
Yep.
And in my mind immediately, I'm like, if that guy ever recommends anyone, never again.
Never again.
Never again. I don't trust that guy anymore.
On the blacklist.
It's so true.
Not happening.
It's not even his fault.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I can't go through that again.
And you break the trust.
Big time.
And the trust is key, especially in this industry.
Massive.
Man.
Massive. And it's building trust. When you don't know people, a lot of it's building trust.
Yeah.
It is. All those little things that you're doing, all those little tips that we're giving out, all they're doing is slowly building trust so that the person's like, yeah, I want to work with this person. I trust him. He doesn't have some other agenda. It's hard. It's that thing. I don't know if you're being genuine or not.
Yeah.
And you need me to trust you for me to believe that you are genuine about this and you really want to help me.
Yeah. It's just a time thing too. People can only be so genuine for such a amount of time.
They'll reveal themselves.
Whether it's 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, that sort of thing. The longer you are around someone, the more they can't keep the act up, sort of, if it's an act.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you have to be genuine.
Yeah.
You really do. Yeah, there's so much. There's so many things that go a long way. Even just respecting people's time.
Yes, yeah. Realize that
If someone gives you their time,
that's a huge thing.
Massive.
Especially us as like creatives. We have no time. We're editing all the time, or we've got jobs on the go sort of thing. So if I give you like, this amount of time, you're very special because we don't have any time. Like, especially for personal relationships that are taken away from like us getting better, us making money, us working on jobs that we've already shot, or that sort of thing. Like, yeah.
But everything you just said, if you realize that the next person also feels that way,
true. Yeah.
Takes you a really long way. Yeah. You're like, this person's very busy. They've got a lot of things to do.
We're sharing time together. That's awesome. Let's make the most of it.
Yeah.
Let's not fuck each other around.
Exactly. Yeah. And knowing that that person's really busy, they've got a lot going on, but they made time for me.
Yeah. I feel special.
So much. You have to respect that. Like, respect that person took time out of their day to help you, to talk to you, to check in with you. Yeah. Not a lot of people are going to give you that time.
Definitely not. That was a good one.
Yeah, I think there's a lot there.
I think that was a masterclass.
A networking masterclass.
A masterclass in network. Probably not a masterclass. I reckon there's probably like top 3 tips in there somewhere that we could pull out. But that was a good one.
Yeah, a lot of takeaways.
Yeah. What do you think are the takeaways for networking? Let's summarize the pod. The episode.
The approach and the mindset of making people feel good, making the people around you feel good.
Yep.
Which is also like the same mindset of like, it's not about you.
Yep. Being genuine.
Yeah, genuine. If you genuinely try to make the people around you feel good, you're going to go a long way.
Be a giver.
Exactly. And it is. It's not you got to take away you've got to go with the, yeah, exactly. Like no expectation. And if you do that, the crazy thing is it always comes back.
You just ridiculous.
have to trust the universe that it's going to come back. And it always does.
Saying that. I hate saying that, but it's so true.
But it's true. It happens every time.
Just watch The Secret.
No, I refuse. I refuse to watch that shit, bro. But I get it.
It's literally the same thing.
I totally get it.
Yeah.
But also know that if you do the opposite and you go with
closed door mindset,
and the desperation
mindset,
and the negativity,
it plays
that
against you.
Also comes back to you.
Yeah. You reap what you sow.
Totally.
Yeah, I actually think that was a really good episode. Guys, make sure to like, share, subscribe, everything like that really helps us out. We're actually doing really well. This is number 10.
Damn, we're doing well, man.
Yeah,
we're doing really
number
well.
10 in the books. Man, crazy. Time is flying.
It goes by quickly.
That's 10 weeks.
10's good.
10 weeks.
10's a solid. Not many people reach 10.
True. Obviously,
and I still feel like we're flying though.
Oh yeah, we're going.
Like it still feels good. I don't know why people stop. The more we've done this, the better I felt though. It's time consuming.
It's time consuming.
It's a lot of time.
Yeah.
I think that's now that we've done 10.
Yeah.
Because it's always hard. It's easy when you haven't done it to be like, people never reach 10 and you can only assume why they're stopping until you've done 10. Why do you think people stop before 10?
I was saying it last night when I was on the film set. I was like, people were actually talking about the podcast, and I was like, oh yeah, don't watch it, it's shit. But it won't always be shit, because I was telling my friend, I was like, I am very happy with maybe 2 of our episodes, maybe 3. And I know we could have done better on other episodes, but that's just hindsight. But I know
you're being very critical.
I love being critical because that's the only way to grow.
Yep.
Yeah, I can't be like, holy shit, man, we just had 10 awesome episodes. They were fucking all amazing. 10 out of 10 episodes. Like, they were great.
Yep.
They weren't, obviously. You can tell by the analytics. Some of our episodes do better than others.
True. That's a learning experience too,
though. It's all learning experience. And I think the biggest reason why people give up is because they don't want to be shit.
Yep.
And they look at themselves and like, oh, fuck, I'm shit. But for me, I'm like, oh, yeah, I know. Pretty shit now, but it's going to get better. I told my friend last night, I was like, I would prefer if you started to watch after episode 20. Because then I would be like, cool, we have the groove. We're better at interviewing people. True. We're better at talking to camera, that sort of thing.
Yep.
That's how I feel. But I think, people give up too soon because they don't want to look shit.
Yep.
They also hate not getting views. They don't get the instant gratification, like say something off Snapchat or Instagram, that sort of thing.
Yep.
It's a long slog. But as we've said, we're in this for the long haul.
True.
This whole community that we're building, the business that we're in, it's about longevity. How long can you stay in it? How long can you keep doing it? So that's the reason.
True.
I know that our stuff is not that great.
Yeah.
It's better than a lot that I've seen, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But it's not as good as it could be yet.
Yeah.
But I cannot wait till we're at like even like 50.
True.
It's going to be night and day.
I know we're going to get a lot better.
Yeah.
But I still look at all the positives.
I know, but that's just who you are. You're the positive guy.
I think they're great because I think in every episode, even though you may look back at episode 50, like when we get to 50, we're going to look back and be like, oh, wow, we're so much better. They were terrible.
Yeah.
I still think that there are really good things in each episode. In every episode, there's one or two things that someone could that could take away, that could literally change a person, especially a person who's just starting out, there's advice in every episode that I wish I had when I first started.
Oh, yeah, I agree with that.
Despite the rest of it being maybe we're getting better at being in front of a camera and talking, and our delivery is probably not as good.
Yeah.
There's still advice in every single episode. I know because I was that guy that just started, and I'm like, I wish I knew that shit when I started.
I will agree with that.
And that's why I think there's still, even though we are going to get so much better, I still look at those and I'm like, I'm glad that we have those because there's people that if they can put up with us for an hour are going to get lots of takeaways from listening to those episodes.
Also, our editing will get better too. We'll be able to cut out more filth or more,
Yeah, but that's a time thing. Again,
exactly, yeah.
I think it's a time thing.
Yeah.
And
because, an hour 20 is ridiculous for two nobodies.
I know.
But anyway, we're getting there.
Yeah, we're getting better.
Yeah.
And I think another
100%.
thing that I think when you talk about longevity, if you want to have longevity, I think a big part of that is enjoying it and having fun.
Definitely. Yeah.
And out of all the work that we do, this is slowly each week becoming more and more like the most fun thing that I look forward to doing.
Yeah, because you get to talk about things that we love doing. We get to talk about our passion, which is our work as well.
Yep.
And we get to talk to each other and vent sometimes.
True.
Like,
yep.
Yeah, it's a great, and we get to share our knowledge with our community, and hopefully everyone's growing together.
Man, there's so many positives to this.
Yeah.
And even just getting like the act of like getting better at anything and the feeling
a great feeling.
Yeah, like growth. Man, we got a little bit better this week.
Yeah.
And when you're getting better at something and you can feel it and you can notice it, that feels good.
It does.
And you want to keep doing it.
Yep.
Because you're like, I'm getting a little bit better. I don't know, I can get so much more better.
I can see the finish line. And that's where I'm headed, sort of thing. That's the mentality you have to have. I love that. Yeah. Good episode. Kicking it with Kenny and Quinn. Done.
See you next week.
See you next week.
Good job, bro.
Yeah. Smashed it.